Hi, I'm Devi Ward, and I am the founder of the Institute of Authentic Tantra Education. And today I'm going to talk with you about the Tibetan 5-element healing practices, because these are the foundation of the modality that we teach, Authentic Tantra, and they are the foundation of all of the methods that we have to offer you. So I like to make the distinction about the Tibetan 5 elements because many indigenous cultures do have teachings around the elements, and they're all slightly different. So in this instance, the Tibetan 5 elements specifically are earth, water, fire, air, and space. Now, when I first started training in the Tibetan 5-element practices, I didn't really understand why the 5 elements are so important. It was like, yeah, 5 elements, that's great, you know, what's the big deal? Well, the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, are very important because they make up absolutely everything in our physical reality. They make up our physical bodies, they make up our environment. So every single thing that we experience in this physical world is made up of one or more of those 5 elements. Now here's the thing. According to the tradition of the 5 elements, all illness and dysfunction is a result of an imbalance of one or more of those 5 elements. So for instance, if we look out at the world today, I think we can all agree that there's a lot of imbalance going on. There's all kinds of climate change and global warming, and people are shooting each other, and it's just kind of a crazy mess. Well, all of that is symptomatic of an imbalance in these elemental energies within ourselves and within our environment. So the Tibetan 5-element teachings, the Tibetan 5-element tantric practices, are a way that we can access and heal and enrich those elemental energies within our own bodies so that we can then begin to heal, enrich, and balance those elemental energies in our environment as well. So here's how it works. Little picture for you. So each of the elements corresponds to a different energy center in the body. So in Sanskrit, that word is chakra, and chakra essentially means wheel. And so each of the elements corresponds to a different energy wheel or a different vortex in the human body. So in order to understand the 5-element teachings, you really are going to have to accept and understand that we do have an energy body. We have a physical body and we have an energy body. And in Eastern medical teachings, not all of them, but particularly in this tradition, the energy body is considered senior or superior to the physical body. So that means our energetic body, whatever affects our energetic body, will then affect our physical body. So if we are able to access and work with the energy body, it will have a tangible result on the physical body. You can see from this picture that in this tradition, we are using 5 chakras. There are 7 chakras, and most Westerners are familiar with the 7 chakra system from the Hindu tradition. Again, this is Tibetan-based medicine and Tibetan-based tantric practice. So we're using a different energy system, and the layout of our energy body is going to reflect that. So we consider the bottom 2 chakras, the root and the crown, to be caps. So they're capping the energy body to keep all of the energy in the physical form. And these chakras, these energy vortexes, are placed along that central channel. Each of these energy vortexes, each of these chakras, corresponds to one of the 5 elements. So the Tibetan 5-element healing practices are methods to directly access these elemental energies in our body to catalyze health and balance. Why is this so important? Well, it's important, as I said, because if we're able to work directly with that energy body, we will be able to experience a tangible physical result. And here's an example of that. Chakra, as I said, it means wheel, and just like a bicycle wheel, it has spokes. And these spokes split into 2 and split into 2 and split into 2. And every pore on the surface of your body is the end of a subtle energy channel. So these channels go throughout the entire body, and you've got fire element channels and earth element channels and space element channels all over your body. And these channels, or nadis, are like tubes, and they carry energy. energy flows from your energy center, from your chakra, out to different areas of your physical body. And they feed and they nourish each of these areas of your physical body. So each chakra and each element governs a different physiological functioning of your body. It's pretty cool. With this picture right here, we're working with the fire element. So your fire element governs your sexual reproductive system, your muscular structure, your electrical system, so all the electrical impulses in your body, and your digestive fire. So that's a lot, and your sexual reproductive system is pretty important to keep healthy. The way that we're designed is when everything's operating perfectly, energy from the chakras, from these wheels, naturally transmits through the channels to go and feed and nourish these different organs, these different areas of your body. So let's say you've got, let's say for this example, you're a female, okay? So you've got your right ovary over here, your left ovary over here, and you've got all these channels and nadis feeding and nourishing those ovaries to make sure that they're healthy and they're well and they're doing what they need to do, producing the hormones, producing the eggs, doing all that stuff. Now, where we run into problems is when we encounter blocks. And the way we encounter blocks is some of them are karmic, they come with us from previous lifetimes, but often in the case of the modern world, what causes blocks are traumas. So 1 in 4 women has experienced some form of sexual trauma or sexual assault. So these traumas, these painful or traumatic life experiences cause obstacles, blocks in these channels. And what these blocks do is it prevents, obviously, the energy that's supposed to be reaching this wonderful right ovary over here. It puts an obstruction or an obstacle in the path so that all of that life-enriching energy can no longer reach that particular organ. Well, over a period of time, what that means is that this area of the body is not receiving the energetic nutrition that it needs to function optimally. We're designed as human beings to function optimally. We are Buddhas. We are fully realized beings. We just have a bunch of stuff in the way. And so these obstacles are part of those things that we have in the way. And so when we have these obstructions, these areas of our body aren't able to receive the nourishment that they need to thrive. And over time, it robs that area of the body of its natural immunity and leaves it susceptible to illness and disease. Over a period of time, you may experience things like irregular periods, or maybe, fibroids, or cysts, or who knows. They can manifest all different sorts of ways, and it really depends on how long it's been there and what the root cause of that particular trauma is. So what do we do? So here's the good news. The Tibetan 5-element healing practices are a way of using the power of your intention, your awareness, your focus, and harnessing the power of sound, of mantra, to enrich this energy center to the point where it sends that healing vibration out through all of those nadis, out through all of those channels, and begins to dissolve and erode those obstacles, those blocks. And over a period of time, what occurs is those obstructions dissolve completely, and here's the thing, those channels, those energy pathways are restored and return to function. You may notice things like your menstrual cycle rebalances, your hormones rebalance. Where there was illness, there's no longer illness. Where there was dysfunction, there's no longer dysfunction. So that's what's happening on the physical level. We're able to use the power of these meditation practices, the power of these healing practices to affect and interact directly with our energy body in order to give it a boost of energy and in order to create enrichment and balance. And that enriched energy then translates to the physical body and starts to dissolve any kinds of impediments that may be preventing us from experiencing optimal health. So that is how the Tibetan 5 elements work to catalyze healing and balance on an internal level.